E.P. Arsenault is a cryptozoologist. A cryptozoologist whose specialty is the rake. The rake, a hairless albino cryptid known for its sharp teeth and huge, clawed, rake-like hands. The rake is also known for its extremely aggressive behavior towards humans and has been documented as entering homes and bedrooms to kill. Arsenault's research is controversial since he claims the rake is actually a subterranean dweller whose natural habitat is caves and fissures beneath the earth. The cryptozoologist claims he received the following email from a student living in the Golden Horseshoe of Ontario, i.e. the Toronto area. According to Arsenault, the email reads as follows. I had just reached legal drinking age, so some of my buddies took me to a dance club in a nearby town to celebrate. It was a bit of an older crowd, and as the ladies just seemed to laugh at us, we decided to head back and grab some eats. We took the Queen E back to town. We had thought about cruising the A&W in Bronte, but then someone suggested pizza. So we were headed to Kerr Street and a pizzeria to put anchovies on their pies. Anchovies. Traffic was surprisingly light. We were just approaching the fourth line when we saw it. A tall, cadaverous, totally white humanoid thing that ran across 8 lanes of traffic. 8 lanes before disappearing into a grove of trees along the highway. We were all talking and pointing, and Andre, who was at the wheel, pulled a sudden right, and we left the highway and headed 100 yards down the fourth line. We knew that on the other side of the woods lay an abandoned farm, complete with silo, as well as the CN tracks. A rutted trail led out to the silo, and we took it. We slowly bumped our way out there to where the leprous yellow silo stood like a sentinel in the moonlight. Andre was driving dead slow, as he had his old man's Chrysler 300, and he was afraid of a loose stone or a piece of gravel dinging it. We pulled up by the foundation to the ruined barn, on an area of dead grass which made a natural parking space. And then proceeded to argue about what to do next. Andre wanted to stay with the car, to protect it, I guess, while me and the other 2 guys wanted to get out and look for the thing, to see if we could get a picture or maybe film it. In the end, we compromised and left Andre on guard in the 300, while we walked over to the woods. I had with me a powerful flashlight that Andre's old man kept in the trunk of the car, while Thad and Cody had to make do with the lights from their phones. We walked through tall, rank grass to the edge of the trees, then hesitated, uncertain as to what to do next. It occurred to me that what we were doing was more than a little risky. I know. Duh! Cody put it in words. We'd better not go in there, bro. Did you see the size of that effing thing? I was about to say, yeah, let's go back to the car, when we heard the shriek. I almost crapped myself. The shriek was loud and piercing, and came from behind us. We all turned to look back, and saw the 300 tearing out of there. But that is not all we saw. The white humanoid thing had emerged from the ruined foundations and was running across the grass towards us, running on all fours. We had no choice but to run for it too. So after a lot of really bad language, we plunged into the trees. The woods weren't very extensive, no more than 100 yards across. But we kept running and tripping over things, and I learned swear words I'd never heard before. We were in there 2 minutes max, but it felt like hours. I heard something tearing through the bushes behind me, so I swung the flashlight around and impaled the white thing with a beam of LED light. It shrieked again, and I saw the thing had pink eyes, and I realized it might be an albino. It was obviously blinded and stumbled against a tree. Not that I stood there gawking. Its scream had revealed a mouth full of gleaming white teeth. And those hands, those claws, they were like rakes. The endless trees finally ended, and we found ourselves at the side of the road. Fortunately, Andre had sense enough to be there with the 300. We piled in, and he burnt rubber getting out of there. Ha! Guess he didn't want those claws scratching up the old man's paint. We got into quite a lively discussion. Argument about what we had seen and if we had really seen it. But I did some looking on the net and concluded that what we had encountered was the rake. The white, hairless, humanoid body, the pink albino eyes, the mouth full of sharp teeth, the blood-curdling shrieks, and those claws, like huge garden rakes. After a week or so, Cody and I went back to have a look around. In broad daylight. Broad daylight. The thing or rake seemed to come out of the ruins of the foundation. So we decided to explore them. They were covered by a roof, which must have been the concrete floor of the missing barn, and could be entered through a dark opening, the door of which had long since vanished. I had a flashlight, my own, and shone it around the pitch black space. But there was nothing there, or at least nothing I saw at first. For the floor of the cellar or dark space was covered with bones, some of which had been chewed. Are those human? Cody whispered. I don't know, I said. I certainly hope not. I noticed what appeared to be a trap door in the middle of the floor. It was raised by pulling on a rope tied to an iron ring. And while a sensible person would have left it alone, I pulled on the rope and raised it. We saw a flight of rough-hewn stone steps leading down into darkness, a portal to the center of the earth. Warm, fetid air wafted up from below, making us take an involuntary step backwards. I looked at Cody. Should we go down? Cody stopped himself from yelling at the last second, but his voice was still loud as he said, "Close that effing thing now!" So I closed it, and we got out of there. Fast. And I'm never going back. I sent you this email, Dr. Arsenault, since I'm pretty sure you'll believe me. No one else does. Arsenault concludes, "It's clear from this young man's testimony that he and his friends saw the rake, the white albino hairless body, the flashing red eyes, the huge clawed hands, and the unearthly shrieks, as well as its sensitivity to bright lights, are a perfect description of the rake and its aggressive behavior. As I believe it to be an underground dweller, it no doubt gains entry to the surface by means of the hidden stairway found in the ruined foundations of the old barn. The bones are likely from rabbits and other small animals, unless there have been reports of missing persons in the area. The rake has been known to kill humans. In future, I think the young man and his friends are well advised to avoid the silo and its ruined foundations. So Arsenault thinks these young men were attacked by the rake. But what do you think, dear listeners? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And stay safe, stay subscribed, ring the bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and feel free to share this video and any of my videos with anyone you please. If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Warren, and I write and tell original ghost stories and original horror stories featuring such cryptids as the night floaters, werewolves, and the black-eyed children. So again, please consider subscribing. Please help me to reach my goal of 2,500 subs in 2022. Till midnight. Cheers.